They only see the finish line, the medals, the spotlight, the raised hands and the roaring crowd. They see the glory, but not the grind. What they don't see is what built it all, the mornings when sleep was louder than dreams, the moments when everything in you whispered, quit, but you chose to go anyway. That's dedication, not the kind you post about, not the kind that ends in applause, the kind that starts when nobody's watching, the kind that wakes you before the world, that keeps you moving when your body begs to stop. Dedication is the engine behind the greatness they admire. And the hardest part, it usually goes unnoticed. You see, most people want the reward, but few want the routine. They want the end result, but not the lonely road that leads there. And that's where it begins. In the decision to do the work, no matter who sees it, to stay loyal to the mission even when you feel forgotten. It's easy to be committed when the fire is fresh, when motivation is high and everything feels new. But what about when the fire fades? When progress is slow? When the crowd walks away and all that's left is you and the promise you made to yourself? That's the test. That's the moment dedication either breaks or builds you. Dedication doesn't guarantee an easy journey, but it guarantees you'll never be stuck. Because even when the odds stack against you, you don't fold, you adjust, you evolve, you rise. And not once, not twice, every time. Every ache in your legs, every missed celebration, every rep you pushed through when your lungs were screaming, they weren't wasted. They were planting something deep inside: strength, belief, identity. Not the kind that depends on trophies, but the kind that endures storms. You won't always feel proud. You won't always feel progress. But dedication doesn't ask for validation. It only asks for consistency. Show up. Do the work. Even when it's boring. Even when it's painful. Even when the results take months to show. Because they will show. And when they do, it'll look like success came out of nowhere. But you'll know exactly where it came from. From the 5 a.m. alarm you didn't snooze. From the stretch you didn't skip. From the dinner you said no to. From the drill you repeated 1,000 times when no one was watching. All those moments you thought didn't matter, they did. They were your foundation, your edge. And here's the truth that separates the best from the rest: talent can open the door, but only dedication keeps you in the room. Anyone can start, but not everyone finishes. Because the finish line isn't just crossed with speed. It's crossed with sacrifice, with repetition, with an obsession so strong the word quit never stands a chance. So when you feel stuck, when you feel behind, when you question whether it's worth it, remember this: the world may not notice the work right now, but one day it won't be able to ignore the result. Because dedication always pays off. Gotta go. The world doesn't applaud your alarm clock ringing before sunrise. It doesn't cheer when you stretch through pain, when you train in silence, when you sacrifice your comfort for a goal no one else believes in but you. There are no headlines for discipline, no trending hashtags for choosing purpose over pleasure. And yet, that's where the real greatness begins. The quiet moments, the lonely reps, the choices no one sees. That's what builds you. Because the world only reacts to what's already done. The performance, the podium, the polished product. But by the time they notice, the work was already carved deep into your routine, into the sweat-soaked mornings, into the no's you said to distractions, into the standards you upheld when no one was holding you accountable but yourself. It's easy to perform when people are watching. It's easy to give your best when applause is waiting. But what defines you, what separates the ordinary from the elite, is what you do when nobody's clapping, when nobody's filming, when nobody's there to tell you you're on the right path. That's when it counts most. Every great achievement starts with small, invisible commitments, daily habits that seem insignificant, running when it's raining, eating clean when junk is easier, repeating that drill one more time, recovering the right way, honoring your schedule even when it hurts and when it gets boring, doing it anyway. Because repetition isn't punishment, it's preparation. Consistency isn't glamorous, it's the grind behind every glorious moment. What you do in silence today echoes in the spotlight tomorrow. The hard truth is, the world rarely understands what it takes. They'll say you're lucky, that you're gifted. They'll point at the result and ignore the process. But you'll know better. You'll know that every win was written long before the game started. In the sacrifice, in the hours alone, in the moments you kept your promise to yourself when nobody would have blamed you for stopping. And the silence, that's not a punishment. It's a gift. It's where you learn who you are when the crowd's gone. It's where your reasons get real. It's where you build strength that applause can't give and failure can't take away. See, if you only work when the lights are on, you'll never survive when they turn off. But if you master the silence, if you learn to thrive in the unnoticed hours, you become unstoppable. Because you're no longer working for validation. You're working for growth, for legacy, for something that can't be measured by followers or fame. And when the world finally sees the result, when they watch you dominate, achieve, rise, they won't know the truth. They won't see that it was the quiet days that made the loud moments possible. That the performance was just the surface. That underneath was a foundation built brick by brick in total silence. So keep showing up. Keep doing the work no one sees. Keep honoring the mission when no one's clapping. Because one day they will. And when they do, you won't have to explain anything. Your results will speak. Your greatness will echo. And your silence will have turned into something the whole world stands to applaud. That's the power of doing the work in the dark. It always finds the light. Dedication isn't just measured by trophies or goals or headlines. True dedication reveals itself in the moments that don't make the highlight reels. It's forged in doubt, shaped by silence, and tested when belief disappears. Not just from others, but sometimes from within. It's easy to stay committed when the world is cheering you on, when people believe in you, when progress is visible. But what about when they don't? What about when your name is forgotten, your path is questioned, and no one claps when you arrive? That's where real dedication lives. That's where it's either born or broken. Because dedication isn't about being celebrated. It's about being consistent. It's not about proof. It's about purpose. It's what keeps you moving when every voice around you says stop. It's the quiet decision to keep pushing forward, when even the mirror starts to reflect your own uncertainty. There are days when it feels like you're walking alone, when no one understands why you keep showing up, when they laugh at your routines, question your obsession, tell you to slow down, tell you it's not worth it. And maybe part of you starts to wonder if they're right. Maybe you don't see the results yet. Maybe the dream feels too far. But dedication doesn't flinch under doubt. It stands up to it. It says, I don't need you to believe in me. I believe in me. Because this journey was never about approval. It was never about proving people wrong. It was about proving yourself right. And even if no one sees what you're doing, even if no one claps for your efforts, you keep going. You keep building. You keep grinding. Not because it's easy. Not because it always feels worth it. But because deep down, quitting has never been an option for you. That's what separates those who almost make it from those who break through. It's not always talent. It's not always opportunity. It's the refusal to quit. The refusal to surrender the dream, even when that dream feels like nothing more than pressure and pain. Dedication is lonely. It's misunderstood. It's brutal. But it's the only road that leads to the kind of success you can stand on with pride, Because when you finally get there, when you finally rise, when the world finally turns its head, you'll know it wasn't handed to you. It was earned in silence, earned in rejection, earned in moments when no one believed, and you moved forward anyway. And here's the truth: the longer you stay the course, the stronger you become. Every time you choose to continue, even when it hurts, you build something unshakable. Every setback you walk through adds steel to your spine. Every lonely night adds fire to your heart. And every time you refuse to quit, you become exactly the person your future needs you to be. Because real dedication isn't fueled by winning. It's revealed when you lose. It's not tested when everything is going right. It's tested when nothing is. And still, you stay. So when you feel unseen, when you feel like giving in, when it seems like no one believes in your vision, you believe. You keep going. You show the world that faith in yourself is enough. That passion is stronger than praise. And that sometimes the greatest victories are born not in the spotlight, but in the shadows where no one thought you'd survive. That's dedication. That's power. That's the mindset of a legend in the making. They will only see the finish line, the medals, the praise, the result. But they won't know the story behind it. They won't see the mornings where you woke up with doubt in your chest, but still tied your laces. They won't hear the silence you trained in when no one believed, no one clapped, and no one cared. But you still showed up, because you weren't chasing validation. You were chasing vision. You didn't keep going to prove them wrong. You kept going to prove yourself right. You stayed loyal to the mission when the world walked away. You didn't fold when belief was nowhere to be found. You created your own belief. You chose to stay dedicated, not because the path was easy, but because the destination was worth it. Every sacrifice you made, every doubt you overcame, every lonely session, every ignored effort, it was building something inside you. A quiet storm, a solid ground, a version of you that couldn't be shaken. They say dedication is about winning. But you know better now. Dedication is about refusing to give up when you have every reason to. It's about showing up when it makes no sense. It's about trusting the process when it gives you no evidence. It's about faith before proof, fire before applause. And when the moment comes, when the world finally sees the result, when they ask how you got there, you won't need to speak. Your work will. Your discipline will. Your silence will echo louder than their noise. Because what you did in the dark is what made you unstoppable in the light. And now they'll applaud what you built when no one was watching. But you'll never forget that it was dedication that paid the price, and paid it in full.